everybody, welcome to Tune In Tuesdays, where you guys get to ask me any question that you like and I will answer them as a cancer coach. And if you are new here, my name is Vita. I am a cancer coach here to help you while you're battling cancer. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first question is, how do I stop feeling like a burden to my family while going through this? And the answer is going to be you have to, one, set boundaries, let people know what they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot say, and what you will and will not tolerate. Okay, and communication. And you need to communicate when, where, how. Okay, when, where, how, and what. Okay, because you guys ask questions where you think it's like a secret formula or some kind of magic word when it's not. When you really sit down and think about what it is that you need help with or what it is that's going to help benefit you and your well-being, is going to be set boundaries and communication. Okay, set boundaries. Let people know what they can and cannot say, what they, around you, what you are willing to tolerate and what you will not tolerate from people. And what I mean is, we all have that one person that's like, oh, if you have cancer, I will stay away from this food. I will stay away from this and I wouldn't do that. Or you should try this kind of diet. Look, I understand. Thank you for that information, but change the subject. Okay. And then when it's communication, hey, I don't need you to come around every 5 minutes to ask me if I'm okay. I don't need you coming over, calling me 24/7. Instead, say something like, hey, do you mind taking me to the doctor on Wednesday, the 23rd at 5 p.m.? Or do you mind picking me up on Thursday, the 12th at 3 o'clock? It's giving a when-where type of thing. It can be something big and something small, such as, hey, I need help with meal prepping this week because I have surgery and I don't know how it's going to go. I may not be feeling good or something like that. So you're giving a when, where, how with communication. You're expressing yourself. You're letting people know what you need from them. And you're letting people know, hey, hold it. I understand, I'm listening, but I don't want to talk about that right now. Okay, type of situation or type of like command or authority, I should say. Okay, because you have to remember, this is everybody's first time around with this. Okay, like people may have been around someone that has cancer, but they've never been this close to cancer. So it's one thing to say, oh, a family member had cancer, a cousin, great auntie or uncle or somebody like that, my grandparents. But when it's a mother, a father, child, a sibling, best friend, the connection hits you the hardest, where everyone just wants to jump and help the best way that they think they can help. But you as a person that is being helped, or the helpee, okay, or the helpee, you get what I'm saying. You need to let people know what it is that you need. Okay, communication and setting boundaries. All right. So the second question is, what do I do when I'm scared of dying but too exhausted to keep fighting? So for this right here, this is one of those questions where to each his own, and it's very controversial. And I'm going to say and you really have to be realistic about it and just understand the reality of it. Is that if you are afraid of dying, but you are exhausted of fighting, but you know that there's nothing else that the doctors can do for you, you have to make a decision. Take what life you have left and live it big, traveling, doing your bucket list, or just surrounding yourself with love and family. Or do you want to keep fighting and suffering in hospice or in nursing home or in a hospital? Okay. And Because it's like we see it on TV all the time. Okay, we see it on TV like all the time, where it's like someone have cancer, there's nothing else that they can do, and then they go out, they leave the hospital, and they're living a big glorious life, and it's like, wow, what? And then we also see the ones that's like there's nothing that they can do, and they're really in the hospital and they're suffering, they're fighting, and it's like, for what? Okay, so you want to ask yourself, if I am afraid of dying, am I afraid of dying? Okay, you want to take a look at your spiritual awareness. Okay, and that's who you are as a person and religiously. All right, and then you also want to think about, how have you lived your life? Like, are you comfortable? Are you okay with how you lived your life? Or do you feel that there are some more things that you are still able to do, and you think you want to spend what time you have left trying to accomplish them? And this is something that you really, really want to think about as a caregiver, because sometimes we are caregivers to our parents and to our children, where we see them fighting and suffering, but in our mind, we're like, but in the back of your mind, you're like, they're getting better. When you have to be realistic, like, they're not getting better. Okay? They are living their life in this hospital bed, in this white room, with the beeping sound of the machine, with family members coming by for an hour or 10 minutes, and it's complete silence. The family don't know what to say. You don't know what to say as the person. So it's just, it's real awkward. And it's kind of like, this is how I'm going to go out, like, just here. And as a caregiver or a family member, you really want to sit down and really think about what that person is going through. And you have to make amends and come into agreement that their future is their future. Their destiny is their destiny. What's going to happen is going to happen. There's nothing that you can do. So do you want to spend that time? Do you want them to spend that time suffering? Or do you want to say, you know what? If you don't want to take medication, that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. You can come home and we can make you comfortable at the house. We can make you comfortable at home. Family member can come by, but at the same time, we have laughter, joy. They sitting around eating their favorite foods, drinking milkshakes, looking up at the stars, talking about the what if questions and all of the adventurous conversations that you can have. Okay? So my answer is, you really want to think about the reality of it, because if you are scared of dying, which everyone is, that's when your faith come in. You have to have faith and a spiritual awareness. Okay? And you are exhausted of fighting. You have options. You either keep fighting and keep suffering, or just tell the doctor, hey, I'm let nature run its course. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of all the pain. I'm tired of all of this. I just want to live what life. Hold on. Hey.
Hey, you meet me with one of those ice creams out the refrigerator?
All right. Okay. I don't know where I left off. I had a phone call, but anyway, I know I was talking about being exhausted. But basically, the bottom line is how you want to live the remaining of your life. Okay? And it's not that simple to make the decision, but it is that simple to know your options. All right, so let's move on to the third question, which is, how can I hold on to hope when every scan feels like bad news? One thing that you can try to do is just practicing gratitude. Okay, gratitude is going to help you. And you can say gratitude like when you're meditating, you can journal it, just basically writing down all the things that you are grateful for and really listen, comprehend, and dissect what the doctor is telling you. So if you do a scan and the doctor says, okay, we found a mass in your lungs, in your brain, and on your kidneys, and then the scan before that, they probably found some abnormal cells in your ovaries or your prostate, and it seems like everything is just, stuff is just always adding on. You need to listen to what the doctor is saying. You need to comprehend what the doctor is saying, and you need to dissect what the doctor is saying. On top of practicing gratitude, research what is going to help with that, whatever that situation is. Okay? So for instance, they say you did a scan and they found something on your brain. Then you need to really research brain health, vitamins, food, herbs for your brain. Okay, as build up a habit of detoxing and doing all this beneficial stuff for your brain. And then you want to go into your prostate. Okay, what can I eat? What can I drink? What can I do? What kind of movement? What kind of exercise? What kind of meditation practices? What kind of whatever it is that is going to help you with your prostate, your reproductive health, and uterus, and all the other kind of stuff. Okay, and then you do those things and you build up a habit. Okay, and then you take it another step further. Okay, well, they found a mass last week on my leg, so let me see what is, and it's just the simple things that help. Now, this is not the cure, but these are the things that is going to help you. Gratitude and really doing all of the beneficial stuff that you need to do for your health, that is going to help you. Okay? That is going to help you. But at the same time, you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic. Okay? And I always tell people, you need to focus on your emotional health. You need to focus on your mental health. You need to learn how to, okay, that's a bad statement, but let me turn it around some kind of way to shift my perspective on this thing. Because the doctor can sit here and say, hey, you have a week to live at most. There's nothing else we can do for you. And if you want, we can give you medication to make you comfortable. Or you could take that, hey, there's nothing that we can do, and you only got a week to live, and be like, okay, well, I'm finna go, okay, I'm finna hit up Six Flags, I'm finna go to the Bahamas, I'm finna go on a cruise, like, I'm finna get a couple of credit cards, do what I need to do to live. Okay, please don't do that. But that's just an example. Okay, so every time you get bad news, you need to learn and try to shift that perspective. Okay, and there's help out there. There are therapists, counselors, mentors, coaches, support groups that can help you with this kind of stuff. So help is out there. You need to get into that program. Also, and I don't, this totally slipped my mind when I was reading it, but how you hold on to hope is you have to have faith. Okay? You have to have faith. If the doctor, one thing about me, when I was doing treatment, people always said Hodgkin's lymphoma is one of the good cancers. Like if you were going to have cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma was one of the ones that it was good to have because it's so curable. And I would hear that all the time, but it did not stop me from losing my hair, getting other health conditions. Every time I turn around, it was something. But one thing is that I'm taking it day by day by doing what I need to do for today. Okay. Also researching. The more you know, the better you can do. The more you know, The more you know, the better you are, okay? You know better because you do better, and you do better because you know better. But I'm also realistic about the things, okay? I'm also realistic about things. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the fourth question. I feel like I've lost who I was before cancer. How do I rebuild my identity? Y'all, I think this right here is something that every cancer survivor deals with at some point of time in their life, because you see it all the time. When someone is in remission for cancer, they jump back into the job that they were in and relationships that they were in, and it's all going downhill. Okay, all goes downhill. But you have to be realistic and understand that there's a possibility that you may never be that person again, because the person that you are now has been through so much, and you have completely changed who you are. For me, and this is just my story, who I was before cancer is not who I am now. Who I am now is much, much more of a risk taker, bold, and I do not care about anything or anyone, okay? And to some extent, okay, to some extent, but that's the person that I am. And as someone that was in remission, I just jumped into college and I flunked out because in high school I had a 4.0 GPA and it went down to like a 2.7. I went to college, I flunked out with a 1.5, 1.4 GPA. My academic level is not there anymore. When it comes to reading, like, people think that I'm joking when I tell people that I cannot read, because when I'm looking at the words, my mind is somewhere else and the letters just jump out all over the page. Okay. But I say all that to say that I am a different person academically. I am a different person when it comes to me doing things. Okay. Before I used to I don't know if I want to do that because so and so may say something, or I don't want to do this by myself. But now I have no problem doing whatever it is that I wanted to do. I'm very confident now. And the thing is, it is because I realize that I have been through too much and so much that I am not willing to, one, compromise on anything, and I'm not willing to really care about what people say. Like, another example is if I want to wear a sleeveless shirt, I'm going to wear my sleeveless shirt because, at first I didn't used to, because I have when I did the stem cell transplant, I had a port right here, and there's a scar. I've gained and lost weight so much that I have stretch marks on my arm. I have stretch marks on my side. Um, I am a type 2 diabetic, so I carry a lot of weight in my midsection. So if I want to wear a crop top, I'm going to wear my crop top. If I want to wear a sleeveless shirt, I'm going to wear my sleeveless shirt. I do not care about what people think. I do not care about if they're going to look or what they say, because I'm not going to let what they say dictate the rest of my life. I'm not going to let the fact that they're staring dictate that God has gave me a second chance, a third chance, if you want to look at it, a third second chance as a cancer survivor or someone that's battling cancer, that's fighting for my life. I'm not going to sit here and worry about these other people. Because if the situation was flipped, they would be doing the same thing that I'm doing. So that's another way to think of it, because you have another opportunity to be here. Someone is looking at you and they're also learning from you. Like the fact that so many people have told me that they look up to me that I did not even know, especially in high school, because I was battling cancer or whatever. A lot of people was like, oh my goodness, like, if you can do it, I can do it. And I look at other people, dog, if they can do it, I can do it. When it comes to social media, my social media is filled with people that look like me, okay? My shape, my size, their hair are like mine. They speak the way that I speak, because chemo brain is It's just something to deal with, okay? And they have stretch marks in the places that I have stretch marks. So I surround myself with people that look like me, and I also surround myself with maybe about 2 or 3 people that look the way that I want to look, okay? But and just be the person that I want to be, like a speaker or communicator or whatever it is, okay? But that is going to help you. So, to answer your question, number one, you have to understand and come into agreement that you may not be that person anymore. And that's okay if you're not, because now you are a new person and it's time for you to explore this person that you are now. That's it. Just explore the person that you are. And if people give you a hard time because you've changed, or if they don't understand, I'm not going to say block them, but just give them time. Introduce who you are now to them a little bit at a time, okay? Not so much. Just jump out, but just introduce them to your new life a little bit at a time. All right. And then if you do that and you see that it's not working, then you just have to let people do and be who they are. They may come around, and that's pretty much it. All right. But I would say embrace this new person. Figure out what it is that you like now, what you don't like. Explore who you are now and jump out there and take risks. Okay. And just be realistic and understanding that, hey, my perspective, my mindset has changed because I've been so close to death, I like to call it. But I've been so close to the end. Okay. And I realized that at any moment it can all be swiped away. I'm gonna live. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna apologize. Okay? Be unapologetic about who you are and do you. All right. All right. So that is it for this video, y'all. I was supposed to be answering these questions from a cancer coach point of view, but I will really answering these questions from a personal point of view. Next Tuesday, I will be more cancer coach. I would try to be more professional with my cancer coach answers, okay? And I hope that makes sense. But anyway, make sure that you check out the description box because I do have a workbook there. I also have a webinar that is going to help you as well. That webinar is the building blocks or the foundation for you to really understand who and where you are along your cancer journey. All right. Especially if you are newly diagnosed with cancer, or if you have cancer for a while and you feel overwhelmed, you feel like everything is just eating at you. You're just angry and you're tired. Please, please, please watch that webinar because it is going to help you, and it goes into so much detail. Okay. So much detail. But I also offer one-on-one cancer coaching where we go into more detail, and my treatment plans are tailored towards your needs and everything. So that is it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next Tuesday in Tune In Tuesdays.